Over the past decade, Ethiopia has been one of the world's fastest growing economies. Rising exports, supported by favorable external conditions, have been key drivers of this growth. This, in turn, has helped to create jobs and earn foreign exchange. Its expanding high-value flower industry and air services exports are notable examples of Ethiopia's self-discovery. A recent drop in export, however, has exposed underlying weaknesses.
Ethiopia over the last decade has made tremendous progress in terms of its economic development and also social developments. This can be seen from visible change in urban settings, in physical infrastructure like roads, energy access, water access, but also in a number of social indicators such as access to education, access to health, reduction in child mortality, etc. I think this is something that we obviously like to congratulate the government's effort and the progress that's been made, and that's very visible in terms of benefit to the people. Of course, this is not without challenges. One of the challenges we're seeing in Ethiopia over the last 2 years is weak performance in the export sector. And this is very important. This is a reflection of Ethiopia's competitiveness in the globalized economy, but also export earning is very important for Ethiopia for us to be able to continue to support the very large infrastructure investments. We did see that export growth has actually slowed and also actually gone negative over the last 2 years. This is a concern to us.
As exports have the potential to be a critical factor of economic growth, improving export performance and competitiveness is the main focus of the World Bank's third economic update for Ethiopia.
The main reason for doing that was that we saw a stark contrast between a very strong performance over the past decade with a very weak performance over the last 18 months. And we noticed that Ethiopia has a lot of sensitivity to price developments. So that opens a whole discussion about how Ethiopia can improve its export competitiveness agenda. Exports are very important to earn foreign exchange, to support imports of inputs and of capital equipment, and it's very important for growth. Ethiopia's export basket is characterized by being half of it in goods, such as coffee and sesame seeds, and the other half being in services, such as air transport services. And one good example is that Ethiopian Airlines is actually the biggest contributor on the export side for the Ethiopian economy. It's actually 3 times bigger than coffee. But the export of goods are quite low, so Ethiopia has actually got the lowest export as a share of GDP among populous developing countries at only 7% of GDP, whereas given this level of development, it should really be at 17% of GDP.
According to the report, the government of Ethiopia can overcome these challenges and improve its export performance by adding more value to existing exports through branding and quality improvements, facilitating access to reliable power supply, credit, and foreign exchange, easing bottlenecks in trade logistics to ensure the timely and cost-effective shipping of containers, establishing industrial zones that follow international best practices, revising complex business rules that impede firm entry, especially high startup capital requirements and pre-registration bank deposits, improving its regulatory quality and implementing a pro-competition legal framework to promote private sector development, and ensuring a competitive real exchange rate.
So for Ethiopia to achieve middle income status by 2025, it's important to maintain high economic growth, but also that the economy undergoes a process of structural transformation. That basically means moving labor and output away from low productivity activities towards higher productivity.
I think Ethiopia would need to also improve its competitiveness. In a globalized economy, Ethiopia will have to compete with other countries to attract foreign direct investments, to generate the foreign exchange, to be able to support the tremendous capital investment that the country has put together over the last decade, and to be able to sustain this growth.
The World Bank hopes that the findings and recommendations of its third economic update will help Ethiopia unleash its significant export potential to facilitate its transformation into a middle-income country.